Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. It's been a hot minute, and I don't know why. I just don't know why. But back, we're post-trade deadline. We're on the 5th of August. We've rebranded the channel a little bit. I'll go into that later, probably in a different video. But yeah, we are now Blue Jays domain, not baseball domain. So, take that for what it's worth. I'm still going to talk about the rest of the MLB. But it's going to be a focus on to the Toronto Blue Jays. So yeah, here we are, my post-trade deadline thoughts. So right away, who we had, the very first move of the trade deadline, we had Anthony Bass and Zach Pop for Jordan Groshans. Pop and Bass are pretty good relievers. Groshans, he has the name to be like that. Oh, this was a huge overpay. Oh my God. But if you kind of start to look at it, he's got injury past. I don't think he's actually played a full season in the minor leagues since he was drafted. He's always hurt, always has something going on. And his development's been really delayed. And now we're starting to see a dip in power because of all of these injuries. So, there's that. Pop has great potential. He's good velo, and I believe he's a really good sinker, kind of similar to Clay Holmes. And he's under control from 27 to 28, one of those 2 years. So this is a really good trade just for him alone. I think the comparison I saw was a similar deal to Clay Holmes, where it's a really good reliever who has a good sinker that's not being utilized, and they're on an underperforming team, sent over to a contender, hopefully finding his way. So hopefully that happens with Zach Pop, because that'd be amazing. Anthony Bass, obviously he was a Blue Jay in 2020. Didn't really have that good a year. He had he had a really good year. He had a high 3 ERA, so decent for a reliever. This year he comes in, he's got a 141 ERA. Got roughed up for a run in yesterday's game, which was his return debut thing. But he's been elite so far this year. He's got an insanely high K rate, which is exactly what Toronto needs. So yeah. The next deal we had going up... Oh, there's also a player to be named later in that deal. We don't know who that is, so... The next deal we had going on was Mitchell White and Alex Dejesus for Moises Brito and Nick Frasco. Going on to the players that Toronto's getting, Mitch White. He looks to be a very promising starter. He's had a really good year so far with LA, although he's bounced up and down between the bigs and the minors. Kind of like a Ross Stripling, but he has options. Which is the only reason he keeps going down. He's like Max Castillo. I think that's the better comp for Blue Jays fans. Is when you look at him right now, he's Max Castillo, but he's definitely got the potential for next year to be the Ross Stripling, or just in that rotation. I like what he does, and he's got a good shot to be on this team. They're also, for the rest of the year, he's also under control until 27, 28 as well, because this is rookie year, I believe, is what I saw, or whatever, maybe he made his debut in 21. But yeah, I really like him. He's got potential to really slot into that number 3, number 4, kind of like that middle rotation guy, so love that. And yeah, like I said, he'll probably be the Stripling of this year now, because Stripling's going to just take the rotation spot and run with it. Alex Dejesus is a 20-year-old shortstop third baseman who I think they'll probably move over to second base as time progresses. But I really like him so far. I was looking at his numbers. He's got some pretty good bat-to-ball skills. He's always had a high average, high on-base percentage, so he's getting on base very regularly. He's got some, a bit of speed. I think he's got 8 or 10 stolen bases in the minors, throughout the minors. He's only been caught twice. So, not, a lot of speed, or he's just my base stealer, but, he's got probably average speed. And then, I don't know, he doesn't have a lot of power. I was looking, he's probably got, maybe 12 home runs, 20 home runs, not that much to 5 or 6 years in the minors. So not a crazy amount of pop, but he's a pretty good 6 to 9 hitter, I would say. So yeah, I kind of like him being slotted into that second baseman role. He could probably be the Kevin Biggio minus the versatility, if that makes sense. So yeah, I like him. Honestly, he could be the better end of the deal out of anyone, honestly, in this trade deadline. I'm pretty high on this guy. I think he's the 8th overall prospect now in Toronto. So awesome. As for what they gave up, I don't really know a whole lot about Moises Brito. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say. So, yeah. As for Nick Frasco, I'm not the biggest fan of giving him away. But I do like the return we got for him. So, yeah. Overall, I think this is a deal that works out for both sides very well. So, I'm okay with it. The big deal that Toronto made on the deadline day was Whit Merrifield for Samad Taylor and Max Castillo. As for Samad Taylor, he probably would have been taken this year in the Rule 5 draft anyways. They didn't add him to the 40-man roster last year, and then before it was even announced that we wouldn't have the Rule 5 draft. So he'd probably been taken anyways, so now he's going to get a spot on an MLB roster that he deserves. So I'm really happy for him. So, and overall, it works really well for Samad Taylor, so yeah. Max Castillo's a tough pill to swallow, though. He's been elite, but in a sense, you've kind of covered him up in the Mitch White way. But he deserves a consistent spot on the roster. Like, I get he's 23, 22. Like, he's young, but the way he was performing, he didn't deserve. He just keep going up and down, up and down. So I think in Kansas City, he'll probably stay on that major league roster. He'll probably go right into that rotation. So, happy for him that he's going to get a consistent spot because consistency is key for young players. So this is awesome. As for Whit Merrifield, we now know that he has been vaccinated, so he can play in all Toronto games, which is huge. Made his debut yesterday. Very good. Loved it. Always seems to kind of come up clutch in those big situations. I don't know what it is, but he's got it. Love that. Especially going into October, where that's the end goal. So that's fun. This is his first playoff race, so we'll see how he performs during that. I think he slots in perfectly at the lower end of the lineup. I think that's exactly where he should go. Not a lot of power, but he's got that on base. Well, not that on base. He's got a 295 on base percentage. He has some good bat to ball skills. He's gonna put the ball in play 95% of the time. He's always making contact, always doing something. So I like that. And he can kind of play anywhere. He's a really good defender. He played yesterday in center field. He can play some second base. I think he's played third base before, first base, all over the outfield. So I really like him. And he just makes that lineup so much more deeper because it's now we actually have to pitch to Whit Merrifield. Oh, but now look who's behind him, Kevin Biggio. Oh no, Biggio got on base. Now we're back to the top of the order. Makes that lineup so much deeper. Love that. That's exactly what Toronto needs. So, yeah. And then the final move of one last thing. Merrifield's also under contract for one more year. I think he's under for 23. He's got an option or just confirmed that he's just with Toronto next year. Or not with Toronto, just under contract, whether that is with Toronto or not. So he could be the possible backup plan if the Jays do not resign Teoscar Hernandez, who is a free agent at the end of the year. So, yeah. And the final move, the biggest move of them all, Jeremy Beasley to the Pittsburgh Pirates for cash. It's whatever. You just kind of had to cover the move because it was a trade. Beasley didn't really have a spot on this roster anyways. Wasn't the biggest fan of him, and the cash we probably got will go to Vladdy in the first inning when he signs his new deal because it'll probably be $10K. So, yeah. Overall grade for this trade deadline, I would going for a B-. I was a little more negative on this trade deadline when it first happened, but I was also at work, so I couldn't look out at all these prospects and players and all that stuff. Didn't realize Mitch White was a starting pitcher, so I was a little concerned because I was we didn't get a starter. What if someone gets down hurt? And then I realized that White was a starting pitcher. So yeah, my initial grade was a C-. Went through, kind of really looked at this deadline. Realized it was actually a really good deadline for the Jays, so I'm giving them a B-. I really like the moves they made. They went in and they got help for the holes they had to fix. They got 2 relievers for the bullpen. They got one with a swing and miss already, one with potential to have swing and miss, high velo arms, which is fantastic. They got a bit more of a reliable starting pitcher in Mitch White that they know will just kind of go out there. He's got a few more pitches that he can work with instead of Castillo. He's kind of a 2-pitch pitcher right now who's probably going to get figured out. So getting Mitch White, who's already got that 3rd, 4th pitch kind of going already. Awesome. Love to see it. And then Whit Merrifield, who provides a lot more depth in the lineup, that other utility guy that they can keep going through. And they get a really good prospect back in Alex Dejesus, who I said was their number 8 overall prospect already. So yeah, they didn't really give up insane prospects in this deadline to make any of these deals possible. Jordan Groshans was probably the most notable prospect, and even then, to me, he's not as highly touted as he once was. I think he's now, like, he's behind Miguel Geraldo or Elvis Martinez, potentially even anyone else. Like, there's kind of just no spot for him anymore. So, yeah, and this also tells me, trading Groshans also tells me that the Jays are very, very confident that they can bring Matt Chapman back long term, which is something that's lovely to see. So, yeah, I'd look to see maybe some extensions in the offseason, I'm just saying. And, yeah, these are the moves the playoff teams have to make. These teams, like, they need to fill holes on the roster. They obviously weren't going to go out and get a Juan Soto or a Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, Noah Syndergaard would have been nice, but I think Mitch White is having the same type of season, and he's under control for way longer. Carlos Rodon would have been nice as well, but if we're having to give up a Gabriel Moreno or a Ricky Tiedemann for a year of Rodon, or not even a year of Rodon, not worth it in my opinion. That's something that you can work on in the offseason, trading for guys. And yeah, these aren't the sexy moves, but they help you win championships. I feel like the chemistry in this locker house, or in the locker room clubhouse, is going to be unmatched. I feel like there's no real cancer in there. So that's awesome. I really like this deadline. I think it helps the Jays going forward. And it's one of those trades, like, it was a deadline that really extended the window. Like, the window, you kind of look at it, you're like, hey, 25, and then it's like, ooh, gets a little bit scary after that. Now you're starting to look at it, it's like, hey, we got a really good key piece in the bullpen until 2028. We got 3 starters now signed through 2027, I think it is. And you should hopefully have Vlad, Chappie, and Bichette all kind of signed through till the end of the decade. So I think this was a really good deal. Deadline. I think it helps extend the window, and it makes them probably a bit more of a threat in the playoffs to deal with, because now, instead of dealing with Richards in the 7th inning, you're probably looking at an Anthony Bass or a Zach Pop in the 7th inning, then you're going to Jaime Garcia, and then you're going to Jordan Romano or Adam Simber, whoever you really want to. This is a really good deadline, and I think it helps secure the number 1 wildcard spot, in my opinion. I think that's where they end up. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out. Goodbye.